Ask the Messenger's TV show is a TV show that educates, informs, and entertains our viewers on public health issues such as mental illness, suicide, addiction, illness and disease, COVID-19 relief, crime, domestic violence, homelessness, human trafficking, employment opportunities, healthcare, and more. And now, ask the Messengers.
Today on Ask the Messengers, we wrap up our Black History Month series. In this episode, we bring you our coverage from the Black History 101 Mobile Museum that was held at the Southfield Pavilion, where we had the honor of sitting down with hip-hop icon Professor Griff and former wife of Muhammad Ali, Khalilah Comacho-Ali. Plus, we asked our staff and a few others to answer the question of what Black History Month means to them. Also, we remember Black Bottom Detroit. But first, this week in Black History, Ask the Messengers begins now. This week in Black History, February 19th, 1940. William Smokey Robinson Jr. was born in Detroit, Michigan, living a few doors down from Aretha Franklin and Diana Ross. Robinson's first singing group was The Miracles, which he founded in 1955 while still in high school. The band's first hit single, which was also Motown's first million-selling record, was released in the late 1960s and called Shop Around. Smokey went on to win many awards, including a Grammy. What does Black History Month mean to you?
Black History Month basically means like Black people's months to be free and express their feelings.
It's a celebration, but although I celebrate being an African American every day of the year, but this month is a celebration because it's a celebration of freedom.
We take time to thank those who have fought against discrimination in this country, who have fought tooth and nail for human rights.
I think it gives us a chance to continue to learn, how amazing our people are, the great impacts that they've made in this world, how certain things were done, inventions, just trials and tribulations, where we're able to do what we can, and it just gives us a chance to be so thankful of what they've done for us.
With the privilege of having just a month just designated for just Black people and all the struggle that we've been through, I feel like it's something that is very important. It's a blueprint for anybody who's looking to experience what we experienced years ago.
Black history to me means leaving this world in a better place for the children that come behind me, just as our ancestors tried to make the world a better place for us.
Black History Month means to me an opportunity for us to just reflect, but not just for the month of February, for us to reflect on what our ancestors and those of color have done, the improvements that they made to society, the contributions, the hurt, the struggles, and everything else. So I am just thankful for those first, seconds, and thirds to giving me the opportunity so I can do whatever I want to do, and for my children to be able to do that as well.
Black history. It's been years of what felt like an eternity. Years of being less than nothing, viewed and treated as disposable. History of brutal pain and horrific struggle. Why? We asked ourselves. Freedom we yearned for, rights we needed, equality we dreamed of, change we wanted. Through this mind and body destructing labor and being pushed around, we pushed further. Our rich, tough, and beautiful skin glistening in the face of society's confident, cruel hatred. Our vigorous hair, a symbolic pride we style diversely in time that we rarely ever got before. Time we rarely got for ourselves. Our icons, divine leaders, who never stopped caring to do what's right, who stood up and spoke up no matter the consequences, For us, their sole purpose. So we could have it easier. So we could still be here and be heard, making what is the now, the present, Black excellence today. Remember where that came from. City aesthetics, radio playing, the loud letters of street art with brave blues and optimistic oranges lit by the street lamp yellows. We can't steal it, but be inspired by and credit the originals. Let us honor them and continue to speak loud, wearing the culture that is unique to us and powerful to us, not just today, not just this month. Nah. We need to know now and always who really came through, who really kept fighting for this long-deserved justice obtained through the prevailing of Black history.
Coming up, hip-hop icon Professor Griff, former wife of Muhammad Ali, Khalilah Comacho-Ali, and later remembering Detroit's Black Bottom. Stay tuned for more of Ask the Messengers. I am here with an iconic legend, Professor Griff, who has actually been with the museum for quite a while. And I'm going to let you tell him how long because I don't want to give it away. But if you know him through Public Enemy, he is just a dynamic icon, and I'm truly honored to be sitting and being in this conversation with him. Welcome to Ask the Messengers.
Oh, give thanks. Thank you very much. And Ask the Messengers. Yes. So who are the messengers?
We are the messengers to bring public health, public awareness to those who are willing to listen, and hopefully they hear us.
That's a beautiful thing. Yeah. All right.
So, Black Mobile 101, you have been with it almost since the beginning, but how long exactly?
Wow. 18 years, Black History 101 Mobile Museum. I started way back when we was in a trailer in the parking lot of schools and youth centers in the winter.
I actually remember those trailers. It's so funny. Here's a backstory. Because, so you know, you're familiar with the Artist Village. Yeah, okay. So one day we were there and I saw this trailer with all this stuff painted on the back. And then one day when I became aware of the museum, I saw it in a picture. Right. And I said, oh my God, I didn't know that was the museum all that time.
That was the museum. People used to walk in one door, go through the trailer, check out the exhibit, and come out the other end. And we would have conversations right there in the parking lot.
Wow. So let's talk about the legacy of Black music and hip hop and where it's come from your day to where you see it now. What are your thoughts about today's music? You know, people who think they're doing what you guys used to do.
See, these guys, these people from Ask the Messenger, they be having these long compounded questions.
I just think too much.
I took it all in.
Okay, good.
I'm going to have to piece that one apart, though.
That's what I was looking for.
The idea of hip-hop lending itself to this idea of the legacy of Black music and culture is a beautiful thing. Hip-hop came in, and if you know anything about hip-hop, have taken all the other genres of music and put it in a pot like a gumbo and stirred it up to remind others moving forward that jazz is ours, blues is ours, rock and the roll is ours, gospel, the God spell is ours. All of these things are ours. The drumming, the dancing, the griots, the speaking, the spoken word, all of it's ours. It's hip hop, and hip hop is higher infinite power healing our people. Higher infinite power healing our people. So we're able to go forth and give credit back to those ancestors, back to those elders, educating people in the present, moving forward into the future. That's just a basic African proverb. That's Sankofa, standing in the present, moving forward, but always have to go back and fetch it. That's our legacy.
Wow. So with the museum, you've been on tour with it for all these years. What do you hope that people take from it, from their experience? What do you hope they get?
I think everyone that comes through takes that particular thing that moves them, that drives them. Some people will come in, we'll ask them to start on one end, but they'll just go to the middle and they're drawn to certain pieces, and they're curious about certain pieces. So we educate them about certain pieces. There's a piece that I carry with me because someone asked me the question several years ago. I answered that same question, and someone said, what piece is it that moved you? And this is that piece. This is called a manila. And this was the form of currency at one particular time. And this could actually buy a human being. So I carry this around to affirm and then to reaffirm every single day. You cannot put a price on a human being. You're priceless. You understand what I'm saying? And you can't put a price. You hear nowadays somebody might pass away and they said he was worth this and he was worth that and he had this amount of money. And no, you cannot put a price on a human being. I bet that particular individual, if he had to do it over, he would give all of that to be here now with us. Wow. You understand what I'm saying? So they walk away with aspects of what they bring to the exhibit. Okay. Sometimes they walk in not expecting anything and walk away with an experience and an education. Mm-hmm. They walk away, they come in knowing and leave knowing that we really don't know that much we think we know.
This is true.
You understand what I'm saying? Because we're always learning, always elevating.
Yes, right. So here I go with another one of those. I'm gonna abbreviate it a little bit. A little bit. So I want you to look in that camera, and I want you to speak words of encouragement, because, you know, a lot of people are going through so many things. And they feel like they're at their wits, their last, their whatever. What would you say to, and I'm going to use some of your wordage, elevate? Elevate for me, Griff.
I think those particular individuals, and this is coming from deep within me to you, whoever you might be. I think right now we need to press the pause button. And we need to stop looking outside of the self to answer those things that are happening with inside the self. I think if we start looking inwardly for the answer instead of outside of the self, I think there lies in the answer lies deep within. And we just kind of have to have that methodology to bring it out. How do we draw it out of us? Our support unit, our family, our friends, an encouraging word. Sometimes song do it. Deeper than any of that, sometimes a quiet conversation with God does it. Sometimes a quiet conversation with the self does it. At the end of that conversation, I'm going to say what I said earlier. We need to end up coming out of that particular experience being our authentic self.
We'll be right back with more of Ask the Messengers.
This is Tina Nelson for Ask the Messengers. I am so excited to bring you another episode in our series celebrating Black History Month. And the most exciting thing is to be standing next to a legend, a history icon, author, motivational speaker, martial artist, and I'm going to have to ask her about that too. An aviator. I know, she's an aviator. Listen, let me just stop talking. It's all about my mama over here. See, we can now. We can, folk. This is Mrs. Ali. Please, I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here, Tina.
I'm so excited for you.
Yeah, I have a lot of accolades, a lot of hats, and that's the thing. Y'all might know me as Muhammad Ali's former wife, but I'm Muhammad Ali's first family, and I'm the one that introduced him to Black history. So we were the Black couple that was the icon for Black history and for Black strength and Black freedom. So you don't get any better than that. So it was an honor to be able to be connected to Muhammad Ali. Before he was Muhammad Ali, I met him when he was Cassius Clay, and we grew into a power couple to help, inspire, and lead our young people, our young brothers and sisters to their history. It's very important for history. I studied Black history in my school, in the University of Islam, in the schools when they didn't have Black history in any public schools at the time. And it's just amazing, the gift that God has blessed me to be connected with so I can be who I am today. And if it wasn't for my history, I wouldn't have a cause or a purpose. And everybody has a cause and a purpose. And I just want to know the whole world is open for you, our Black sisters and brothers. You have the world at your feet. You should realize it, learn your Black history, and you'll know where you're going, because you have to learn your past. When you see what's going on in your Black history, you'll know what's missing in your life. So study it, share it, enjoy it, and and open your mind to everything.
Oh my God.
Go into yourself.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
And as she said, you know, you got to know where you came from in order for you to know where you're going.
There you go.
Black Bottom was a predominantly black neighborhood in Detroit, Michigan. The name Black Bottom actually came from the area's rich, dark soil farmed by French settlers in the 18th century, not the African American population that settled there during the Great Migration. It was located on Detroit's Near East Side within Gratiot Avenue, Brush Street, the Detroit River, and the Grand Trunk Railroad tracks. In the early 1900s, many African Americans migrated north to Detroit seeking employment in the city's growing industries. Racially discriminative housing covenants and redlining forced many of those to settle in Black Bottom, altering the connotation of the district's name, Black Bottom. As thousands of blacks streamed into Black Bottom, the community swelled with vibrant cultural, educational, and social amenities. The district reached its social, cultural, and political peak in 1920. Blacks owned 350 businesses in Detroit, most within Black Bottom. The community additionally boasted 17 physicians, 22 lawyers, 22 barbershops, 13 dentists, 12 carded agencies, 11 tailors, 10 restaurants, 10 real estate dealers, 8 grocers, 6 drugstores, 5 undertakers, 4 employment agencies, and 1 candy maker. As Black Bottom grew, it soon became known as a lively area with jazz bars and nightclubs. From the 1930s to the 1950s, residents in Black Bottom made significant contributions to American music, including blues, big band, and jazz. Famous artists such as Billie Holiday, Sam Cooke, Ella Fitzgerald, Duke Ellington, Pearl Bailey, and Count Basie performed regularly. Notable people to have lived in Black Bottom were former Detroit Mayor Coleman Young, whose father operated a dry cleaning and tailoring business and also worked as a clerk for the U.S. Postal Service. Others included recording artist Della Reese and Ralph Bunche, the first African American to win a Nobel Peace Prize. Towards the end of the decade, black employment in Detroit dropped by almost 30%. The stock market crash in 1929 only exacerbated the dire circumstances of Black Bottom's working-class families. The number of blacks moving into the district continued to increase with the promise of available industrial jobs. Increased demand for housing in Black Bottom allowed landlords to charge exorbitant rent for units in extreme disrepair. For this reason, some households held 3 or 4 families. This also prompted many tenants to take in boarders, further increasing crowding and the degradation of living conditions in the district. Although condemnation of property began in 1946, the National Housing Act of 1949, then later the 1956 National Highway Act, gave the city the funds to begin an urban renewal project in earnest, replacing Black Bottom and Paradise Valley with the Chrysler Freeway and Lafayette Park, a mixed-income development. The East Side neighborhood was gone by 1954, though its entertainment district, Paradise Valley, survived a few more years. Relocation assistance was minimal, and many former Black Bottom and Paradise Valley residents were given 30 days' notice to vacate. A number of the residents relocated to large public housing projects such as the Brewster Douglass Housing Project homes and Jeffries Homes. Black Bottom was demolished for redevelopment in the late 1950s to early 1960s and replaced with what is now Lafayette Park Residential District and the 375 Freeway.
Often I sit down and I think about the things we've been through, and I say to myself, what else we have to do? We survived the boat ride, the beatings and the hangings, but still we are still standing, still swinging. I know they've gotten their doctors and their scholars together and wondered, how on earth have they survived? And why come it seems like everything they touch turns to gold? Well, here's your answer. God blessed our souls. They've gotten their scientists to research the 4 corners of the earth, and they discovered that we were here first. Check the world over. Survey the entire land, and you will find not one, no, not one that compares to that black woman and that black man. No, don't get me wrong. I am not saying we are better than, but we are most definitely not equal. You see, I truly believe there's something special about black people. Is it the way we run and jump, or could it be the way we sing and dance? Or is it the way we praise our God when we raise our hands?
Well, that concludes this week's episode of Ask the Messengers. We also invite you to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, if you would like to support our show, please feel free to make a donation of any amount by visiting our show website, www.askthemessengers.org. If you prefer to mail donations, please make your check or money orders payable to Ask the Messengers TV show and send to 18400 Schaefer Highway, Detroit, Michigan 48235.
That God in me. But oh, one of these days, and it won't be long, you're gonna stand before my Father to answer all your wrong. Despite your ancestors' efforts and all their evil, surely by now I know you know there's something special about black people. There's something special about black people. There's something special about black people. There's something special about black people.